Hello everyone, on this episode of Kindred Spirits, arcade budget beat-em-ups. Released for arcades in 1990 by Taito, Growl is a fast-paced beat-em-up set in the early 20th century. Growl begins as a group of rangers are told about animal poaching in their area. Completely disgusted by the news, the rangers vow to put an end to the animal cruelty. But before they can even set foot out of the saloon, someone throws a grenade and exclaims, "Drop dead, you scum!" Ducking for the floor, you tell the jerks that they won't get away with this. Within an instant, the action begins. You start the game as one of 4 possible rangers, each having their own balance of 3 attributes called attack, jump, and life. Combat begins quick and hard, throwing you right into a full-fledged free-for-all with a host of opponents that seem to never stop coming. Controls are easy and intuitive, taking little effort to learn the simple combo moves, which is great considering there is no warm-up phase. Enemies and objects in the stage will drop various tools to aid in your fight, including grenades, guns, whips, pipes, and swords. Ammo for the gun is limited, however the rifle doubles as a nice whooping stick. Even some of the animals you free from captivity will aid you for a few seconds. After a few minutes into the game, it's easy to settle into a repetitive style of combat for each ranger, which is fine since you won't have time to become bored. Action is endless. One uncommon aspect of this game is how there is no break between stage acts. Each scene ends with a boss fight or bonus round, yet never fades to another screen. The action is seamless, save for one part. The only relief from combat is a stage that, for some odd reason, plays like a mini survival game where you have to navigate a series of irritating yet hilarious obstacles. This level is the only scene break in the entire game, feeling like an odd add-on after the fact. Growl has an unusual style of game engine called a belt scroller. This allows players to move at angles through the stage as well as left and right, like a simple side-scroller, adding some depth to the game environment. Sprite animations are detailed and decently complex, but it's obvious that someone saved time by recycling objects with only simple changes to colors, creating an illusion of varying enemies. The color palette is a bit desaturated, making the stages appear like an old western.
Drop dead, you scum!
Get away with this.
Sounds are clean and well balanced, with no obvious flaws in sampling. Stage music seems to be a list of songs that would fit nicely in action movies of the silver screen, giving the game a nice musical backdrop without an annoying repetition. Growl is a very odd but fun title, having a great mix of action, music, and comedy rarely seen in arcade games. While the nuts and bolts of the game engine are great, less effort was placed into opponent variety and boss fight mechanics. Most of the game is simply smash and move. This title is definitely worth a play or two. Developed by Atari Games and released for arcades in 1992, Guardians of the Hood is a side-scrolling beat-em-up set in the streets of some anonymous city. Rather suddenly and from parts unknown, Mr. Big, a female crime lord, threatens to take over your city. As a guardian of the hood, you won't stand for crime taking hold in your neighborhood. After years of gym time, you are ready to take on all the hoodlums. You play as either Chief, Javier, Conyer, or Tanya, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and attack moves. Gameplay occurs across 4 stages, each with their own mini-boss. Featured in this game is a rather unusual plot twist. As you defeat each mini-boss, they join your team and help you progress through the stages. After completing a stage, you return to the gym and fight a friend. You must win 2 out of 3 rounds to move on to the next level. This is where the game difficulty goes off the chain. Each level and mini-boss is a snap compared to the unbridled butt-whooping your so-called friends dish out. You will waste many quarters trying to beat your way back out of the gym. As with many budget beat-em-ups, controls are both simple and hair-pullingly sluggish. Basic attack moves are easy to pull off, while combos are mostly the stuff of legends. Graphics are a composite of digitized live video and sprite animations, giving a muted color palette and smeared details. In the 1990s, live capture was an attempt to give sprites a realistic appearance, but in this particular case, the technology fell short of the mark. Stage backgrounds suffer from the same melted wax visuals. One positive note is the exaggerated sprite scaling, giving combat a sense of 3D perspective. Sound effects are utter garbage, from the muted punches, kicks, and grunts, to the out-of-place car honks and random unidentified chirps and bleeps. The stage music is an unfettered mess of loud meaty notes that has no clear purpose other than to distract from the awful sound effects. Guardians of the Hood is a mess from start to finish, with unbalanced gameplay, poorly executed graphics, and sound effects that make little sense, giving this title a comical, so bad it's kind of good feel. Released in 1990 for the arcade by Technos Japan Corporation, the Combatribes is a beat-em-up brawler set in a futuristic New York City. Cyborg-enhanced crime gangs plague the city streets. From unknown origins, 3 tough guys appear to even the score. With grit, determination, and probably a vast amount of steroids, the good guys tear through wave after wave of theme-inspired hooligans. Kicks and punches fly, with bodies being tossed like rag dolls, motorcycles thrown like paperweights, and blood pours from busted noses on the concrete. All of the opposition will fall at any cost, especially if your wallet can take the beating. You play as one of 3 vigilantes, Berserker, Bulova, or Blitz. While all 3 share a set of combat moves, each one has different strengths and varying combo attacks. Berserker is the most balanced player, being both strong and quick. Bulova packs a powerful punch, but is slower, having trouble dodging attacks and chasing bad guys. Blitz is the quickest of the 3, delivering speedy kicks and punches, but does the least amount of damage. Controls are of the standard arcade feel, being both easy and tricky at the same time. Combo moves are just as much a mistake as they are intended action. Enemies are far more agile and quicker to the punch, making any kind of combo move a 50-50 chance. Some enemies are unreasonably difficult to attack, such as the skaters. They move too fast for chasing and have unpredictable return paths, making strategy impossible. Bosses have much more speed and strength, yet eventually allowing enough attacks to land so the game can proceed. The end boss, a female cyborg named Martha Splatterhead, can be reached with enough quarters. The AI seems to be spot on for a budget beat-em-up, being tuned to extract maximum quarters while giving the player enough satisfaction to continue. Graphics are of very good quality, being richly detailed and colorful. The amount of combat animations for the moves that can be performed is amazing by 2021 standards, and even more amazing doing it all on the 1990s hardware. There is no sense of lag in frame rate at any point, except for when a quarter is inserted. Everything pauses for a split second and a gunshot is heard. Very bizarre. The backgrounds are complex enough to give immersion and feature some form of animation, although they would have been better with some parallax scrolling. The only real complaint is how the main characters walk and climb stairs. Seriously, they walk like they have arthritis under all that excessive muscle. Climbing stairs is even worse. The animation is quite goofy, looking much like a muscle-bound bobblehead. Sounds are clean and well done. Punches are brutal, combo smacks are funny, and death sounds are comical. The only downside is a lack of variety, with only one sound for each action, making action sound a bit repetitive. Stage music is upbeat and adds a sense of spirited combat to each level, despite being MIDI-based generic tones. The Combatribes is an excellent way to waste some time punching bad guys in the face. While it's not going to break new ground in any particular aspect, it is a masterpiece in harvesting quarters. Levels are short, easy to navigate, and give enough action to keep a person playing long enough to see the end boss. Have fun beating Martha. Developed by DGRM and released for the arcade in 1996, Black Touch 96 is a 2D beat-em-up style game based in some anonymous contemporary urban setting. As best we can tell, someone has kidnapped a woman with large eyes and you, an anonymous street brawler, are sent to get her back. Braving the streets of No Idea City, 4 thugs of various colored clothing and their endless clones assault you with pipe wrenches, bad hair, and massive belly slaps. Catch the various fruit and donuts dropped by the bad guys for a quick health boost, and collect model cars for the bonus points. Battle your way through progressively more garbage boss fights until you reach the end, where you are unceremoniously dumped to the credit screen. What happened to the girl? Your guy doesn't care. Gameplay is, well, average for a mid-90s beat-em-up arcade game. Your character is easy to control, though combo moves will be quite a trick to master. This is good news, as defeating enemies is less about being skilled at combat and more about staying clear of groups. Mobs love to gang up on you from both sides. Boss fights are not much different, as the only real challenge is dodging the sole immortal mob trash harassing you while you focus on the fight. Graphics are a mixed bag of right and wrong. A lot of work went into the so-called design of the character appearances, yet they stopped at only 4 or 5 bad guys and a limited range of motions for each one. As the main character, you have the most varied fighting style options of the whole game, but that's not saying much. Bosses suffer from the same phenomenon. While they look really good, they suffer from a lack of motion and originality. For example, it looks like Eddie E from Final Fight transferred to this game as a stage boss for hire. Level backgrounds clearly receive the bulk of the borrowed design efforts, with long stages and lots of detail. Sounds are another mixed bag of oddities. Punches, kicks, and grunts are all of decent quality and appropriate, but stage music is another story. There are only a few music tracks, a fast-paced mashup of poorly captured synthesizer keystrokes, an even more distorted boss fight melody, and a slow-paced tune that clearly belongs on a generic platformer cartridge. Black Touch 96 left us with many questions, such as, who kidnapped Big-Eyed Lady and why? Why is one boss a high school gym teacher? Why is the ending credit song Ain't No Sunshine? And what is the point of this game? Seriously, there is no resolution to the game's story. Why is this game a thing? We get the impression that Black Touch 96 was meant for more, but fate decided to end things before the acid trip was over. The game is confusingly bad, and that made us confusingly sad. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to this channel. Every click helps. We started this season with the genesis and will now lay it to rest. Thanks for watching. Black Touch 96 left us with many questions, such as, who kidnapped Big Night? Oh, it's been, okay, let me restart.